Hi, I'm Haley Shoemaker, and today I'm going to go over what is ethics and how it's going to particularly help me in the future when I'm pursuing my career. Ethics is also known as moral philosophy, principles that govern a person's behavior, the good and the bad. But if you go back to week 1 in the introduction of ethics video, John Day explained ethics in a whole new light. John Day's definition of ethics is the study of a good and bad ends to pursue in life, and what it is right and wrong to do in the conduct of life. Ethics has three main elements pertaining to the topic. Normative ethics, which is the study of principles, rules, and theories that guide one's actions. Metaethics, which is the study of meaningful and logical structures of moral beliefs. And lastly, applied ethics, application of moral norms to moral issues or cases.
Along with the three elements of ethics, we also use critical reasoning a lot in our day-to-day lives. Critical reasoning is the careful systematic evaluation of a statement or argument, also known as the analysis of facts to make a judgment. Along with critical reasoning, we also use moral reasoning more often than not. Moral reasoning is just ordinary critical reasoning applied to a moral argument, what's right and what's wrong. But moral arguments can change and vary from situation to situation due to beliefs, religion, and many other factors. Moral arguments are just a group of statements, one of which is supposed to support the rest. All arguments are intended to prove something. In every argument that you have or you hear about, everyone's just searching for a conclusion. But there are two different types of arguments. Deductive, which is supposed to give logical conclusion. There's also inductive, which is supposed to use probable support to the conclusion. A good example of a deductive argument is to say something along the lines as, all athletes work out in the gym. I work out in the gym, so I must be an athlete. That is using logical information to make a conclusion. So the example I just used for a deductive argument used logical information to come up with a conclusion. But for an inductive, we use probable. For example, you could say that all the quizzes have been easy in the past, so therefore the test will be easy, which is not very logical, but it is probable. Following critical reasoning and moral reasoning and all the types of arguments when it comes to ethics, there's also many theories that fall into ethics. Two important theories that I would like to cover in this video today are divine command theory and teleological and deontological theories. The divine command theory is a theory that says that only morally good is good if God says so, and morality is determined by God's commands. And in order to be a moral human being, you have to follow God's commands. Being a very religious person, I find this theory to be very useful, but also to the extreme. Another theory I find very useful other than divine command is teleological versus deontological theory. Teleological means the morality or immorality of an act is a function solely of the consequences of the act, a chosen end. Three ends can be chosen when talking about a teleological theory. Egoism, which is happiness, eudaimonism, which is well-being, and utilitarianism, which is the general good. Once an end is chosen, the highest good, then the action is evaluated as a moral and immoral depending on whether that end helps or hinders the original situation. Where teleological theories, the consequence of the act, choose the morality or immorality of the situation, the deontological means the morality or immorality of an act has basically nothing to do with the consequences of the act. Morality of an action is grounded by some form of authority, independent of the consequences of such actions generated. In deontological theory, the people who believe in this normally look to some type of God or authority figure.
Being knowledgeable on these specific theories and the definition of ethics will help me tremendously in my future career in the health field. As of right now, I'm a student in allied health pursuing to be a pediatric nurse. Knowing ethics will help me tremendously due to the fact that morality and immorality is used in more cases than not when it comes to the health field. And knowing these theories will help me further my relation with my patients, such as divine command. Some of my patients could be very religious, and it is good for me to know how to handle and approach a situation at the time. Lastly, just a reminder, I'm Haley Shoemaker, and I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to listen to my video about what is ethics and how it's going to help me pursue my career in the future.